You are watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, bringing you your daily dose of business and technology to educate, empower, and inspire small business owners. Be sure to subscribe to the show today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute since I've been on here. I've been so busy and it feels good to be back though. I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to the day. It is Hump Wednesday, baby. You are almost there. It is the middle of the week. You are almost there. It's been a minute. I've been so busy here the past 3, 4 months. A lot has been happening, a lot behind the scenes, a lot going on, but I'm happy to be here with you today. I got a great guest coming up. Listen, before I do that, be sure to subscribe to the show. Wherever you're listening and watching from, subscribe to the show. I'll be back. I'm getting back in the saddle. For some strange reason, every summer I tend to get super busy. When everything is slowing down, not me. I tend to get super busy and I pause the show for a few months until I can get it right. So I'm back on the ship right now and I'm ready to go, and I'm excited about the great things that you got going on. Hey, listen, I got to give a shout out to the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. If you are in the Gwinnett area, whether it be metro or not, if you're anywhere in the state of Georgia, we have a virtual membership. We would like to invite you to become a part of our chamber. We are the Gwinnett Women's Chamber. We focus on education. We focus on the whole woman, because here's one thing we know about being women in business, that we wear so many hats, a lot of them. We wear so many hats, and a lot of times we forget about ourselves, and instead of us thinking about us, we think about everybody else. So I want to invite you to become a member of our chamber, and we are going to have a lot of virtual classes coming up, so I'm excited about that. When we first started the chamber, we had a lot of virtual classes. We had a lot of um we had a lot of we had a lot of networking events. We had a lot of stuff. And so here lately, probably over the last year or so, we kind of dialed it back a little bit so we can get better handle on what our community wanted. So being able to do more virtual training, we're excited about that. So we have a calendar full of things coming down the pike. So no matter where you are in the world, if you have access to a computer, we invite you to become a virtual member for the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. We would love to hear from you. We would love you to join us. We got a lot of stuff going on. I've been working on a project. So I started to work on a project because I was looking for because I do the show Monday through Thursday, audio only, and on Wednesdays I do video. But I was looking for a product. Like, I was like, I need a product to sell. I need a product to sell. And I was like, I want to sell like coffee or something. So at the top of the show, I want to talk about my coffee business. So listen. So for those of you that, oh my God. So somebody said to me, and I know I'm all over the place. I'm going to get to my guest shortly. But someone said to me over the weekend, they were like, you do a lot of stuff. And I was like, no, nah, not really. It just seems like a lot. And I think for a lot of people, when they do nothing, when you see people, all their whole life is, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna go home. That's all they do. It looks like the rest of us who are entrepreneurs do a lot. And we do kind of do a lot, but it's mostly the things that we love doing. So anyway, I was looking for a coffee to promote on the show, because I'm on the show. I'm promoting, my Good Morning Gwinnett news site. I'm doing that, but I was like, I need a product. I want a physical product. So I decided to go into the coffee. Well, I will decide to go into the wellness business. Not to sell wellness products. I was looking for coffee. And let me tell you something. When you're looking for something, it shows up. I was looking for a coffee. I had a meeting with someone who I had never met before. She was invited by someone else, and she pulls out a little pouch and pours it in some water. And she was the person I was looking for, and I didn't even know it. God will send you the people you need when you know what you want. That is the truth. And so he sent me her. And what was interesting about that, it's a long story. I can't tell it now. Listen, anyway, coffeemillionaires.biz. I'm an entrepreneur all day and twice on Sunday. So when I looked at the coffee, I saw a whole nother business. And yes, I do. So check it out. Coffeemillionaires.biz, coffeemillionaires.biz, coffeemillionaire.biz. So check that out. That's my new thing. But it's for me to promote on Good Morning Gwinnett, because I didn't have a physical product. I could have promoted my books, but I didn't want to do that. Anyway, let's get on with this show. I got a great guest. She's a returning guest. I don't have many returning guests, which is, I just realized that I've done 1,215 episodes of Good Morning Gwinnett. And I don't have many returning guests, but she's a boss in what she does. She is a sponsorship guru. A lot of times we're looking for sponsorship dollars for events. I know we do the Georgia AI Summit every year, and I swear we are scrambling to find sponsors every single year. Dr. Lori Mans is somebody who knows her stuff. She knows how to tell you how to go get that money so you can get those sponsorship dollars to help you push your cause to the next level. I know. Listen, we do the summit. We're looking for sponsors every year, right down to the last minute, but we don't know how to do it. So she's here today to talk to you about what it takes for you to get sponsorship dollars. She's going to pull back the curtain so you can see what you need to be doing, so you can start running in circles and chasing your tail. You can go out there and get that money. You can find out where it is, all of that good stuff that we don't know. So I'm happy to have her here, and I'm happy that she's willing to share all of that good stuff, and she's going to tell you about some good things she got coming up. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Dr. Lori Mans to the stage.
Hello.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so much, Audrey.
Listen, thank you for coming back. I don't have many returning guests. I don't want to invite a lot of people back, and I don't know, what does that say about me? I don't know. I don't know what that says about me. But anyway, I'm glad that you're here this morning. I'm glad that you are so willing to share, because there are a lot of nonprofits, and we're streaming right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. There are a lot of nonprofits who really want to figure out how to get this money to help their organizations thrive. And I think for a lot of us, it's like, well, I'm gonna go talk to this person, and everybody gives you the runaround. Like, how do you get past the run around? Because you get the runaround.
Well, I am so happy to be here, number one, and thank you for being, so gracious about inviting me back. And when it comes to sponsorship, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I get the runaround when I contact someone for a sponsorship opportunity." And that may be because you're talking to the wrong person. Okay. And if you're talking to the wrong person, unfortunately, they may not always stop to tell you that they are not the right person that you should be talking to. And so you may waste a couple of months or even longer talking to them, sending them emails, or sending them DMs, and they may or may not respond. And so, what is important for you to do before you reach out is to research and do your homework to make sure you have identified the correct person to speak with and to contact for your project or event or whatever it is you're trying to get sponsored.
So let me ask you this, because a lot of times when we hear sponsorship dollars, we think that it's only for nonprofits. Does sponsorship go for people who are for profits, community projects that are for profit, business conferences that are for profits?
Yes, absolutely. Corporations have different pockets of money and they have different departments. And so they have typically a foundation arm that is for nonprofit organizations. But they also have departments like supplier diversity and marketing and communications and human resources and things of that nature that are for other initiatives that the company has, right? So it's about knowing what alignment and what synergy that you share with that corporation based on what their vision and goals are and what yours are. And so when you are able to tap into what that organization is trying to accomplish, then you look for a corporate partner who is aligned with what you're trying to accomplish. And then absolutely, you don't have to be a nonprofit. You can be a for-profit business and still get sponsorship dollars.
So we do the Georgia AI Summit. We put that on every year. This year, 2026 will be our third year hosting it. I'm so excited about that, because it's like, man, I can't believe how quickly time is flying, and so far we've just been able to thank you to Gwinnett County Economic Development Department for always supporting us. They have been a great supporter, and also thank you for Atlanta Tech Park, who's also one of our partners who have supported us through this venture. But we struggle trying to get sponsors, and a lot of times we think we know who we're calling people. How do people know who to call? Like, how do they know how to find out what these companies, corporations, what is it that they believe in? What is that they focus on? Because when you go to a site, it doesn't say. Sometimes you may see something in the sustainability space. I will say that if a company is all about sustainability, it shows in their mission, their vision, their core values, things like that. But for the most part, you don't see that. So how do you find out what is it that they are focused on in each department? Like, how do you know that?
Well, that's a great question. And actually, that's something that I teach in the Sponsor Attractive Circle. And it is a membership that I teach entrepreneurs how to go out and attract corporate sponsors. But what I will say is this: when you are trying to ascertain what a company's initiatives are, you have to become a researcher. And that simply means you have to scour their website, you have to scour whatever trade or industry that they're in, and you also have to try to find their annual report and things that are going to give you some information about where they're going, right? What are their goals for the year? What are their initiatives? What's their platform? What are the issues that they care about? And what are the types of events and projects that they get behind? And so it's very smart to follow them online.
Uh-oh. Have a little bit of a technical difficulty. She should pop back in a second. So listen, I know for us, we have been looking. This is great information. Just right off the bat, my mind is already like spinning because I'm thinking, okay, so we need to. I'm gonna take her down so she comes back up. Just right off the top of what she just said, my mind is already spinning because I know that right now we have the Gwinnett Women's Gala that's coming up in March, and we're always looking for sponsors for that. So this information is already valuable, and we just 11 minutes into the episode, so I'm going to bring her back up. Uh-oh. She has to come back in. Anyway, she'll dial back in. She's been having some difficulties. Okay, let's see here. Add her to the stage. All right. I know you've been having some tech problems. Listen, we're in Georgia, so there's people. 3 o'clock this morning, my watch is zooming. I'm like, who is up at 3 o'clock? And somebody's saying on ring because my ring is connected to my watch. Hey, does anybody have power outages? I'm like, it's 3 o'clock. Why are you up anyway?
Right, right. It's funny. My subdivision, we all are on what is that they call the group chat, and
Yes.
they were talking about the power being out this morning like 6 a.m. and the internet being out, and somebody's texting trying to see is everybody else's internet out. And so
Yep.
when you are a work from anywhere entrepreneur and you work from home, you end up having to be at the graces of your internet provider. So there we are. And yeah, so as I was saying, you definitely want to do your research, and that's part of working with corporate sponsors is doing your research, because they love it when you come to them prepared and you already know the types of things that they're interested in. But you can get confirmation of that once you connect with the right person in the right department at the corporation. And so, like I said, it involves following them on every social media platform that they're on and paying attention to the types of projects that they do, paying attention to the types of initiatives that they do, and always reaching out in enough time to get a response. Because if you're having a project that's starting, for example, this is August that we're in. If you have something that's starting in September or October, you've waited too late to reach out. right? So you have to start reaching out early enough, because when someone talks about having to get signatures and approvals and running things up the flagpole, that is exactly what has to be done. Sometimes you have a committee that approves sponsorship dollars. Sometimes you have one or two people. But the bottom line is, you have to make sure that you have done your due diligence in approaching the right person for something that is going to align with that corporation's mission, vision, goals, and initiatives.
So, what would you say would be the right amount of time to start reaching out? Because I'm thinking, and I'm totally being selfish here, but I'm thinking about the Georgia AI Summit. It's in March. It's in May, and I'm thinking, well, maybe it's too early to start reaching out to sponsors. It's August. Is now too soon, or
No,
should we start reaching out right now?
now.
Okay.
Uh, it's now, because anything that you want to do next year is now. The reason being is because, many companies and corporations are in budget season starting in September of the
Mm.
previous year. So starting in September and October, you have the budget season where people are putting together their budgets for the next year. So if you want to be a part of their plan for next year, you would want to reach out to them now. And also, they have many times ancillary funds that they save for projects that pop up, right? Well, those dollars typically go to people who they already have relationships with, right? And
Mm.
so, and it just so happens that if you already have contacts at the corporation, you already have a relationship, they've already done something with you in the past, if they have money that they have to spend before the end of the year, then they may even contact you or approach you about doing something together before the year ends. And that has happened to me many, many times. So it's a beautiful thing once you have a relationship with the corporation or a large company, that they will then contact you to say, hey, we're thinking about doing X, Y, and Z, and we'd like for you to partner with us.
I want you to talk about the relationship part, because I think a lot of times people, when they think about relationships, they don't think about what that really means and what that entails. Some people just, I'm just going to keep it real because I do. Some people are just takers. All they want is to take, 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 right? They want people to give, 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 and they give nothing back. They just want to take, take, take. So when you think about the relationships, how can one go and build a strong, real relationship with someone in a company that where they're just not taking, taking, taking their hands is that, you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like a lot of times that happens. Like they have their eye set on something, and it's almost like I don't want to say being manipulative, but kind of sort of. That I see this person, I'm going to zoom in on that person, we're going to become their friends, and nothing is real about the relationship because their intention is, I just want you to support what I'm doing, so I'm gonna be your friend. Talk about the relationship and how to build a real successful relationship with someone in a company, so that now that person, that you don't necessarily have to be friends, but it does need to be a relationship that's not just you giving, give, taking, taking, taking. Needs to be some reciprocity there. What does that reciprocity need to be, and how do you form those type of relationships?
Well, here's the thing: when a corporation backs your business as a small business, you have a partnership with them. That is what I call social proof and instant credibility. Okay. And that provides you with an open door of resources, opportunities, and dollars, right? And so the decision maker at the corporation knows that once you, as a solo entrepreneur or influencer or creative or event host or whatever you are, they know that once you partner with their corporation, that it's going to be a game changer for you. And so they're looking for people who want to be partners. And from the standpoint of, they don't need you to help them build their brand. Their brand is already built. What they need is feet on the ground. And as the song say, boots on the ground, right? They need people who they can rely on to help them further their mission, their goals, their objectives, and to be basically boots on the ground for them to help them reach a different audience that maybe they would not have reached, or segmented audience maybe they would not have reached, because the bottom line is they reach massive numbers of people. But what they're looking for is loyalty. They're looking for brand loyalty. And so when you think about Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they don't need your help to, let the audience know that they exist, or if they're rolling out a new product. They don't need your help or my help. But what they might be looking for is market share, brand loyalty, and experiences with their audience so that they can build that, right? And so that they can get incremental growth and profits in a certain area of the country. And so how you can help them is determining what it is that, again, that they need. What are their goals? What are their initiatives? And so when you are someone trying to build a relationship, just like when we're trying to build a relationship with our friends, our spouses, and our family members, it's about serving, right? It's about showing people that you're not just out for you, and offering to help in whatever way you can. And so, I'll give you a perfect example of what this looks like. A sponsor of my consulting business was doing a trade show. They were a sponsor of a big conference here in Atlanta. Well, one of their assets at the sponsorship of the conference was that they got to send somebody to be a speaker at the event and be on this panel. Okay. Well, the person who was scheduled to be on the panel had an emergency that day and could not make it. And so I got a phone call to say, hey, can you go to this event and represent us and sit on this panel and speak on this topic? And oh, by the way, it's today. and so because emergencies happen today, that's what an emergency is. It's something unexpected, of course. So the answer was yes. And so did I have to shift things around to make things work so I could, get what I had to get done to get there? And the answer was yes. I can maneuver my day. I can maneuver what I need to do so that I can be there this afternoon to represent you. And so that right there is relationship. And so that is, you don't have to pay me. I'm not looking for anything. Yes, I will do it. I will go represent your company. Yes, I'm already prepared. I don't have to go get, educated on the topic. They already knew that I was an expert on the topic. So yes, I can do it. And so what does that show? That shows that I'm somebody who's a partner that they can call if they need something, and Lori Mans will step up.
You said so much, Lori, and I got to tell you. So I got a couple of things to tell you about what you said. The first thing I want to tell you is that I sit on 3 boards, 3 nonprofit boards, and we were in a board meeting with one of the nonprofits, and they were a big sports franchise had come to them to do some. They wanted them to partner with them to do some work, and in my mind, I'm thinking, well, why do they need you? Because it's a national franchise, right? You cleared that completely up for me. And the person that was trying to explain that to me could not tell me why. I'm like, because in my mind, I'm thinking, first of all, I'm like, I don't believe it, right? So I'm the board member having a hard time believing what they're saying, because I couldn't fathom why would this international sports franchise come to this little nonprofit in the middle of, like in Georgia, and say, hey, we want you to do this. Be boots on the ground. But they couldn't explain that to me. So they lost me completely. And I'm sitting in the board meeting like this. And they're looking at me like, you look confused. It's because I'm confused. I did not understand that. So they couldn't articulate that to me. Now that makes a lot more sense, because what you said was, well, they don't need you. They got a brand already. And that's what I was thinking. Well, why do they need us? They couldn't tell me that. The other thing you said about relationships, I never forget this. 2 things happened to me some years ago. I was doing radio. I was on radio. I had a show called Women in Business Today, came on 7:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings, and I used to interview all women in business. Two things happened. One thing happened. I interviewed these two women. They were called mompreneurs. This is when the big mompreneur thing was going on. They got a chance to be on the John Walsh show, which was a national TV show. And they told John Walsh about me. I got the call like 5 o'clock in the evening the day before. It's like, and you have to be here tomorrow in New York. Now, granted, I was in Jersey, so that was a quick cross a bridge, right? But because of that relationship, I'm on national TV because of that relationship. And then I had interviewed someone else on my show. She was an author, but I had the opportunity to be on the Mary Caracoli show. She had Money Matters, but that was a relationship. So relationships are really important, and I think sometimes people kind of neglect that. Talk about building relationships with people who are the gatekeepers. I read a book years ago called The Personal Touch by Terry Williams. At that time, she was the publicist for Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, I think Eddie Murphy, and I met her in person, and that was my Bible for years. Talk about building relationships with the gatekeepers. That may be the janitor, that may be the receptionist, but sometimes you can't get to the top dog, but you can get to the person that will shut you down as soon as you walk through the door. Talk about that.
Wow. That's also something that I touch on in my training. And it's because every major corporation has C-suite officers, right? The people who hold the title of CEO, COO, CFO, CMO, all of these C-suite officers, right? And then you have the VPs, and then you have the middle managers, and then you have, employees and whatnot. And so the assistants, the admins, the coordinators, those are the gatekeepers, the people who answer the phone, the receptionists. You have to be nice to all of them. And not just nice, you have to be kind, right? And being kind is different than being nice, because when you're kind to people, it shows that you care. When you're nice to people, it shows that you're just polite. And I have gotten so many opportunities because I was kind to the person who answered the phone, or I was kind to the person who was the coordinator or the runner, the this, the that. And I let them know that I saw them. And so these people are called gatekeepers for a reason, because they can quickly put a positive spin on your name or a negative spin on your name to the decision maker. And so the reason why you have to always manage every relationship that you build within a corporation is because you don't know who is friends with who outside of the workplace. Right. And you don't know who is alliances inside the workplace, right? So until you get in a foot in the door, you have to be friendly, kind, nice, professional, and just basically a good person to everyone you meet. You can't be dismissive to anyone because of their title. And when you're dismissing people because of their title, because you see them as not a part of the approval team or the review committee, it's not going to go well for you, because every person you meet within a corporation that works there, they were hired for a reason. And so for that, it's priceless. It's priceless to have people on every level within a corporation in your back pocket. And the more that I've had that, the better my outcomes have been within the corporation. I don't just want to know the decision maker. I want to know everybody on that team, and I want to know everyone that they're close to. And I also want to know everyone they're not close to.
When I think about people building the best relationships, I think about pharmaceutical salespeople. Like I feel like they do a great job at building relationships because they will pop up with a gift and they always I've been in the doctor's office and they just pop in with gifts. Hey, just stopping by and they're dropping off something. They're not asking for anything, they're just dropping off something. They are in my opinion, they are the best relationship builders because you're gonna remember the person that gives you something. Whether it's for their benefit or not, you're gonna remember that. But they do it all the time. And I was like, that's why that's such a lucrative industry to be in. You just got like sales, but they just pop in and just drop off stuff. I want to switch gears a minute. I want to talk about how much money to ask for, because that's another thing. I've heard people say stuff like, you're gonna look like an amateur if you don't ask for enough money. If you go to asking for, $5,000 and they have $1 million sponsorship budget, they're gonna know you don't know what you're doing. How do you know what to ask for? Like, you know what your budget is. You may be doing a small event and it may only take $10,000, $15,000. And that's what you're asking for. But people have said, if you go there and ask for $15,000 and they have $1 million sponsorship budget, you're going to look like an amateur and they're not going to give you the money. How do they know that?
Well, here's the thing. It depends on a lot of variables as to what you ask for. Okay. I can't say, oh, go in always asking for 6 figures. I can't say, oh, go in asking for 25,000 or 5,000. You know what to ask for once you build a relationship with the decision maker or a part of the decision maker teams. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I can give you an example when it comes to relationships, right? Whether you are looking for a joint venture partner in your business, or you're looking for a collaborative partner, or you're looking for just someone who is going to refer business to you, right? When you are trying to build a relationship with anyone who can give money to you or who can, write a check to you, you have to ask questions to find out what their budget is. And many times they won't tell you what their budget is. But what they will give you a clue about is how much you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And that only comes when you build a relationship. It's just like, in a romantic relationship situation, right? Once a gentleman is interested in a lady, he can determine whether she likes to go to, a restaurant that is a 5-star, or whether she can just, or will settle for a 3-star restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Is she the white tablecloth type of girl, or is she the girl who doesn't mind going to Chili's or Applebee's?
And getting barbecue sauce on her fingers, that girl.
Right. And then it's like, but then you have those people who they can go both ways. So the bottom line is, once you get to know the contact person, the decision makers, and all of that, they're going to tell you. In every situation that I have gotten big dollars, I was told to ask for X amount. Okay. I was told what to ask for. And when it was small money, I was told that, oh, don't ask for 25,000 because I don't have it. If you ask for 5, I can get it to you in about 30, 40 days.
Yeah.
It was that simple. And it's because I had the relationship and I was told what to ask for. So I still presented my proposal with 2 or 3 options, but one of the options that was in the proposal was exactly what they told me to do. Right? And it was only presenting them with the options because, okay, just in case anything changes and you find another $5 or $10 or $20,000, here you go. Here's what I could do if you do that. But here is what you ask for. Okay. And so that is the clue. Again, it's about building relationships with the key members of the decision-making team. And it's not rocket science. It really is just, there's a strategy to it. There is a systematic approach to it, and there's timing to it, right? So I've been doing this so long, I've had, some of the same sponsors year after year after year after year. And I've had to ask, every year. How much money can I have this year? And for my in-kind sponsors, again, it's still money because they have to write it out as money. If they're giving you something that equates to inventory, it's still money out of their budget. They only have so much. If they give you gift cards, that are valued at an X number of dollars, or if they give you services that are valued at X number of dollars, it still is a line item on their budget, and they have to account for that. So whatever it is, once you have that relationship with the decision maker or a member of the decision-making committee, they're going to tell you what to ask for.
So I know you have an upcoming event coming up. I'm trying to move my mouse, but did my thing die? The thing died. I know you have an upcoming event coming up in September. Tell us about that event, because I know people are listening right now and they're trying to figure out, okay, I need sponsorship dollars. Because it's so many nonprofits. It's so many nonprofits that struggle. I run a chamber. It's a nonprofit. We're always looking for monies for stuff, things we want to do. We just had a meeting this morning about all of the great things we're going to be rolling out, moving forward. And a lot of those are going to take dollars beyond our membership dollars, And so I know that there are a lot of nonprofits that watch the show on LinkedIn and things like that. Tell us about your event, because I know that's going to be probably a great event, because now you get to really go behind the curtain and see like the real deal. She gave you a lot, and I'm telling you right now, when she said go research, I'm a researcher. I'm going to be researching. I'm over here trying to figure out. Let me ask you this, because I can ask you. This is a good idea. I ain't gonna put it out to the whole world. I'm gonna keep it to myself. I asked you offline, but it's a tech idea. You know me. I love tech. Tell us about your upcoming event.
Okay, well, I host a 2-day event called Sponsorship Sales Secrets Live, and it's virtual, and it's going to be September 26th and 27th, and you can go to www.sponsorshipsalessecrets.com to check it out. And basically on day 1, I go into sales mastery, and on day 2, I talk about sponsorship selling. And the reason that I go into sales mastery is because many times people think that they have to be a experienced seller to get sponsorship. Well, you don't, but you do need to know some sales basics, and you do need to know some foundational principles of selling. And you need to understand that sales is not sleazy, it is service, okay? Because a lot of people have a problem with asking for the money. A lot of people have a problem with objections and knowing how to handle them. A lot of people take things personally when someone doesn't contact them back within 24 hours or 48 hours. Well, it's not about you. And so I have to basically teach people who I work with, if they don't have any sales experience or they have limited sales experience, just some fundamental things about selling. And so that's why day 1, we talk about sales mastery. And it is all about selling with confidence, learning how to outsell your competition, learning what a sales funnel is and the sales process, and also how to get leads, how to research leads, and how to understand closing techniques, so that when you get to a certain point in the sales process, you know how to go in and get the contract sold. And then day 2 is all about sponsorship selling. And I go into how to be sponsor attractive, right? And that's why my consortium, my membership is called Sponsor Attractive Circle. And I want to teach entrepreneurs how to become sponsor attractive, because what has happened to me in my career is that I've had corporations reach out to me and say, hey, we saw you on such and such, or we heard about you on such and such, or someone referred us to you, and we want to work with you. And it is a beautiful thing when they come to you and they tell you, hey, we have this money that we want to give you, and here are the things that we want you to do. And so it's basically a brilliant strategy to work with sponsors who have the money to basically change your income trajectory and also give you resources and opportunities that you otherwise would not have had. And so we go into crafting a sponsorship pitch, creating irresistible packages. And also, I teach you the budget formula for how to price out what you're going to ask for, right? And then I teach you about how to attract sponsors. And then I invite you to join my membership. And I give you a special offer and an incentive to work with me throughout the year so I can break down all of the lessons that I can teach you, and you won't feel rushed to get it all in one setting, but you'll have the entire year for me to break it down, answer questions, and you have one-on-one time with me as well as group time with me. So it is a great event. Many entrepreneurs have attended the conference as well as signed up for the membership training and gotten anywhere from $2,500 sponsorship all the way up to $50,000 sponsorship. And so it is, like I said, a beautiful thing when you have a corporate sponsor to work with you and you have developed a relationship that has given you resources, opportunities, and most importantly, credibility, cash flow, and contracts.
So Lori, I gotta go to a commercial, play a quick commercial, but I'm gonna come back and we're gonna close it out. So think about your closing words for people that are watching.
Okay.
Hey there, and welcome to Midlife AF. This is the podcast where life after 50 isn't about slowing down, it's about leveling up. Each week, we dive into aging gracefully, enjoying life, tackling the challenges that come with midlife, and yes, building that legacy money. We'll laugh, we'll learn, and we'll remind you that your best years aren't behind you. They're happening right now. So get ready to glow, grow, and live midlife AF with us. Let's do this.
So closing statement. What do you want people to know?
I want entrepreneurs to know that you don't have to be famous to work with corporate sponsors and large companies. You don't have to have a large social media following. You don't have to run paid ads. But what you do have to have is a framework and an expert to guide you along the process so that you avoid some common mistakes and that you don't waste time. And so I'd love to share with you how I have sold over $5 million in sponsorship and also coached and consulted entrepreneurs just like you to basically have a new revenue stream in their business. It's possible. And not only is it possible to get a sponsor, it is possible to attract a sponsor. And that's what I'd like to show you how to do, is become sponsor ready and sponsor attractive so that you're not working so hard to chase them. They're actually contacting and chasing you.
Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Dr. Lori Mans has done a great job of explaining this whole process. But I know if you like this, what can you find behind the curtain? What can you find out? What are the secrets you're gonna find out if you attend this class? So, Dr. Lori Mans, thank you so much for always gracing us with your presence and sharing all your wisdom in this space with us. I really appreciate you taking the time and also just being, sharing, because a lot of people gatekeep the information too. They'll hold it back from you. And yes, we need sponsorships, like especially if you are a growing small business, if you're a nonprofit and you're trying to figure out how to make this thing work. She's telling you, come check it out. So check out her site, sponsorshipsellsecrets.com, sponsorshipsellsecrets.com. Check it out. If you're listening around the world and you want to know, it's virtual, so you can check it out no matter where you are, and it's probably a way for you to get some sponsors where you are. So not that it's only limited to the United States. It's limited to anybody. So it's open to anybody. So go and check it out. Sponsorshipsellsecrets.com. Again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks
y'all.
for having me.
You're very welcome. Hey, listen. If you enjoyed that episode, I'll be back. I know I've been messing around, but I'm not messing around. I've been busy. I've been crazy busy. Again, check out coffeemillionaire.biz. That's my new thing. And that's because I needed a product to promote on this show. I'm talking every day. I'm not promoting a physical product. So I was like, but my mind does not work in singularity. It does not. It's like, okay, you need the coffee, right? But then I was like, okay, how about this whole thing? So I did this whole thing. I'm excited about it. So check it out. I'm writing another book. I just wrote one. I'm always writing books. I've been writing books since 1998. But anyway, check it out. Be sure to subscribe to the show where you're listening to it, whether you're listening to on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, wherever. Subscribe to the show and share it with 2 friends. I'll be back again next week. I got another episode coming up. Hey, by the way, check out Midlife AF tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I feel like that's gonna be a funny show. It's 3 women and a man. So we talking about midlife, yes. And I feel like that's gonna be not only insightful but very entertaining because we got a great guest of people, great show hosts coming up. So be sure to check that out. It's midlifeaf.living. 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 Check that out. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be on again streaming live. And I feel like that's gonna be funny. So that's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. All right. I gotta go, but I'll be back next week, same place, same time. So until next time, my friends, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.
You've been watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the show today and share it with your friends by going to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com.